So this is my 2000 KLX300R. I've had this bike for about 3.5 years, and I really like it because it's my first motorcycle ever. It runs fine, but it needs a new back tire, needs a new fuel tank, it needs a new clutch. The headlight needs to be rewired. It could use a new exhaust. I repacked this one, but it's still absurdly loud, and so I thought this year before riding season, why don't I take it all apart? It's 22 years old. I'm sure there's plenty of things I don't know about that could use a repair. Probably the whole engine needs to be rebuilt, we'll see, but I'm gonna take it all apart and we'll just see what happens. I think it's gonna be fun, so let's get to it. During this rebuild, I plan to restore this bike back to a relatively OEM spec with some extra touches here and there. I'm going to be painting the engine, and I'll also get the frame and swing arm powder coated. As far as the plastics go, most of them will probably see some work, but the side covers and the rear fender are going to need a lot of elbow grease because they've definitely seen some better days. An aftermarket fuel tank is in the cards due to the poor condition of the factory unit. The filler neck broke off, and my options for plastic welding or melting the neck back on are scarce. And this is exacerbated by the fact that whatever material I'd use to do this would have to be gasoline resistant. This isn't even mentioning the fact that polyethylene, which is the plastic the tank is made out of, is very resistant to, normal plastic welding methods. I've already tried a bunch of different things and none of them have worked. There's a company called IMS who makes an aftermarket tank for my bike, but according to motorsport.com, you have to use KLX250 shrouds. So I'll have to investigate that, and we'll see where that goes, but I'm probably going to be using that IMS aftermarket fuel tank. Depending on whether I can find a nice aftermarket slip-on exhaust, this SX1 stroker unit that I have on the bike will probably just have to be refurbished. As I previously mentioned, it's quite loud, but it does look nice, and it does have a nice tone despite its volume. So far I haven't been able to find any good new aftermarket unit, so this might be what I end up doing. Alright, today's a new day, and let's see if I can't get this thing fully taken apart by the end of the day today. Very, very worn. The most significant change I'll be making to this bike is a supermoto conversion. I bought a set of spare KLX300R wheels that I'll be moving the hubs from and swapping into a set of KLR650 supermoto wheels that I've had for quite a while. I'll also be changing the gearing. The stock rear sprocket has 52 teeth and the front has 14. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I'm thinking about getting a 50-tooth rear sprocket and keeping the front the same. I'd like to just get a little bit more top speed out of the bike, and I'm fine with losing a little bit of acceleration. I seem to have forgotten that there's a drain plug at the bottom of the water pump housing, so here's me draining the coolant the messy way. In the next video, I'll be tearing down the engine and we'll see what kind of work it needs, so stay tuned for that.